Hey everyone, welcome to Ruff Talk VR's first edition of Monday Morning Coffee. In this series of episodes, it's kind of our time to talk about different news, have different interviews with developers, overall people of interest in the VR community. In this particular episode, it's our first ever remote interview. We have a guy, his online handle is Thomukas1, that's Thomukas, number 1. And then his game company handle is Zen Republic HQ. He's the creator of the again, highly entertaining and very funny VR escape room Rodent People Origins that we actually reviewed this past Friday. So
it was an honor to be able to sit down with him for as long as he spent. I mean, it took almost 2 hours of the guy's time.
Yeah, I feel bad. There's he's from Lithuania, a very talented solo developer, as we learned.
Young, energetic, hungry, has a bigger picture going on.
Yeah, we talked about a lot of fun things in this episode. We just got done with him, actually. So I was expecting this to be like a 30-minute interview. We ended up being on him, like I said, an hour and a half.
Yep. So let's hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed being able to talk to him.
Yep, and hopefully this will be the first of many interviews with developers in the coming time. All right, guys, enjoy. Hey, guys, this is Ruff Talk VR. We're here with Thomukas of Zen Republic. This is
nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
Nice. Thank you for joining us, Thomas. So this is going to be our first remote guest interview. So thank you for doing the honors.
The pleasure is all mine.
So do you want to tell us what the game that you have created is?
The game that I created is a VR escape room, a multiplayer VR escape room called Rodent People Origins. Do you want me to explain more about it, or are you gonna?
Yeah, I won't lie. When we reviewed your game, I was so concerned of giving away stuff, and I wasn't the person who made the game, so there wasn't really much I could get into detail with because I didn't want to, anger anybody who hasn't played it, or especially you who made the game.
Like, oh, you guys are spoiling the whole game on a podcast.
Yeah, so I mean, you feel free to say whatever you want because you can interject something into it that I certainly couldn't.
Yeah, I listened to the review, and that really is true. You can't really say much about an escape room without spoiling it too much. But I still really appreciate that you tried, and it's still, I think it came out very good and very hypey, if I should say so. Like you hyped up people to try it out. If I hadn't made it myself, I would surely have tried it after listening to you.
No, I think personally you did a great job. I found it entertaining. Even the solo, speed run, I still can't make the top board, but
I don't know how the guy who has the number 1 position on that of like 5 minutes did that. He had to have had somebody next to him telling him like, all right, like with the written instructions, reading off what to do next. 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, when I was building the escape room, at first, let me just tell you that at first I didn't think I was gonna put it on Oculus. At first I just made it just for a location-based experience. Because I thought this would be like a good way of kind of promoting virtual reality in Lithuania, because there's basically no stuff in virtual reality, and I thought I could kind of make it boom, saying that, hey, you might think VR is cringy, right? But I'm not tackling it as a VR game. I'm tackling it as like a revolutionary escape room. So if you're a fan of escape rooms, you might not have tried VR, but come here because most escape rooms have just like locks, codes, whatever you can kind of. You're very limited to what you can make. A puzzle in physical world without people kind of being able to easily break it or rig it somehow. So I just my point of view was that I just kind of revolutionized an escape room, so you can try it out instead of going to another kind of escape room. But thing is that due to the quarantine, I had already made a game, like it was already playable for location based, and I thought like let me just kind of make it online. Why can't I make it online? Because it's still an online game. People are still kind of logging in through Wi-Fi to join in together in the same room. So I thought that I just needed to add some login system, some kind of party match system, so that people could play together. Of course, there was still like the things like locomotion, like moving with thumbsticks, some other kind of things that I needed to clear up. But I didn't think I was gonna make single player mode. I thought it was just gonna be multiplayer only. But as I started to grow my Discord community, people kind of joined in. They found out some of my posts from Reddit or whatever else, and they were into kind of helping me out making the online version. And so I was kind of forced into making single player mode because it was very hard to get the testers in by just kind of, hey, what kind of time fits you the best? Let's go in together. You can play it too, and I'll just kind of be a spectator, watch you play, and see what kind of bugs there are. And there weren't many takers. It was pretty hard to get people in, so I just decided to kind of adjust the game a little bit so it was kind of beatable while you're playing solo. And then people kind of really started to get into it. They started giving me all the bugs they found, and god, there were so many bugs. I thought like my game was perfect. I thought my game was perfect, but everybody just came out, just giving me pictures, giving me feedback, and like my game was just horrible. So many bugs, it was unplayable. Like the worst thing about escape rooms is that I didn't really think about it when I first made it. Was that you can't have bugs in it. That's like the biggest in like whatever adventure game, right? You can just kind of, I don't know, take some whatever item, you throw it and just starts floating around, just breaking everything. It's funny, right? It's funny. You take a picture, say, oh, nice, funny bug. In escape room, if you find a bug, then everything else you go through, you think, oh, is that a bug? Why can't I take this? Is it a bug too? Is it a bug that? And then you kind of start feeling discouraged that this game is unfair, this game is buggy, that you cannot beat it. So yeah, but yeah, I went to answer the question. Like I went too much into it. But for the leaderboard things, I didn't think I was gonna do a leaderboard. But as people were playing single player, they just I found that my way of kind of keeping them playing, to kind of keeping them testing, is to implement leaderboards so they can kind of compete against each other, right, and find as many bugs. Because if you try to speed as fast as you can, the more you can iterate, the more you can play, the more bugs you can find. And so this was kind of my reasoning of making the leaderboard. And yeah, people found so many crazy bugs. There's actually one bug that I didn't fix. I didn't fix especially because like it was a crazy way of beating the game. Yeah, and I still didn't fix it. I'm not going to fix it because it was genius the way the person found it out.
And is that the guy with the 5 minutes who found it?
I'm not sure if that's the guy with 5 minutes. I can't really tell, but it might be. Yeah.
Well, hey, right off the top, don't feel bad at all about kind of going off the question. I think that's one of the great things about podcasts. You ask a question and it leads to 100 different things. But you definitely you touch on a lot of things I want to kind of ask about. So you mentioned briefly that you were a solo developer, right?
Yeah, right.
That's impressive. And you're out of Lithuania?
Yeah, I am. Though okay. I would say I'm a solo developer, but I would still like to say that I had some help. The Zen Republic, the company that I founded, is actually founded by me and my sister, and she's doing UI. So if you saw the shop, all the like UI 2D things inside the game, everything is painted with like Illustrator, Photoshop, whatever, by my sister. And also I had some people, one of the fans who was into sound design. He made a couple of sound effects for the game, and also another one of my friends who is kind of a casual hobbyist modeler. He also modeled one of the spaces in the game. So it is the tutorial space before you kind of go into the game, the one with the elevator and stuff. So he kind of made the space, and I just added props to it, and just to kind of make it feel more of the style that the prison is in.
No, it's freaking fantastic. How many hours do you think you totally have invested in this game so far?
Actually, when I first started it, I thought I was going to make it so fast. I was so confident of my ability of making games. So I thought it was just going to be, I started doing it. I started developing on last year, just before the summer started. And my reasoning was that I'm just going to make it, I'm just going to go all in, make the game throughout the summer. So I'm going to make it in 3 games, so that in 3 months, so that when the autumn hits, so like the season for escape rooms, right? When there's no more activities outdoors, then I'm going to go in and say that, hey, VR escape room. But of course, everything takes longer than you expect. So I had to develop the game for like, I'd say 8 months. But still, I developed it full time. Though not all the time my work was spent developing it. I had to make the website of Zen Republic. I had to do a lot of stuff. I had to build the tent. Like we have this home soon tent of physical locations in Republic. So we had to like kind of make the whole interior design of the space. I had a lot of different work. So, but mainly that's what I did. I developed the escape room, and that took me, like I said, 8 months. So I developed it up until February of 2021, and then I released it in March. But now that the game is released, and now that the quarantine is finally lifted, and I can invite people over here in physical location to play, I found out there's lots of more bugs. So I remember that you said in the podcast that you said you played some, you found it there weren't any game breaking bugs, but then you had to update, and then when you played, the game broke. So that was when I was like in the heat of fixing the last bugs. And so when you do everything very quickly, different kind of parts are not being tested well enough, and they break. So I had like to reiterate. I spent like this last week just full time back on Rodent People. So it wasn't kind of a linear experience of making it, but basically I would say like 8 to 9 months.
No, that's fantastic. I just can't believe the amount of hours that someone has to actually invest, and I think it's a reality that people need to know if they want to start developing games. Is like you said, you went into it thinking, oh, I'll have this under wraps in a couple months, and then 8 months later you're still tinkering.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, did you have any prior game development experience, or was this your first endeavor in game development?
Yeah, I have made some games, but I wouldn't say like there weren't any like release games. I didn't Rodent People was like my first experience of actually releasing the game. But I had work in some companies doing like corporate stuff, some like small projects for corporate firms, like like some shitty experiences where you have to look around, interact and stuff. Oh my god, I hate them so much. It's like such a scam. But
like being a solo independent company owner yourself more.
Yeah. I mean, it's a whole lot of work. Like I'm working on weekends. I'm working long hours.
Yeah, come on.
I don't have
anytime it's like a small business, you're the owner, man. That's 80 hours a week, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way, because when I was working in the companies, I got some like decent salary. I was able to buy food at restaurants, take my girlfriend on to nice dates, right? And life was good. But I was just missing something. I feel like I'm just creator by nature. I like to create, and just doing something and not seeing the like reward. Somebody else gets the reward for whatever I made. Some like company, some boring corporate stuff. So then I didn't like it. So I went back to being broke, eating ramen every day.
Ramen noodles.
Yeah. That's the life. Working long hours and eating shit food. I'm still surprised how am I not fat yet. I put on some weight, but I'm still not fat. I have no idea how.
Well, I mean, not for nothing. I mean, I've seen your videos. You're always out. You're active. You seem to be quite the free spirit and enjoying life. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I surely hope to kind of maintain it. I think that's like the formula of staying young, staying relevant, of just kind of not taking yourself too seriously, if I should say so. Because when I was working in companies, I found myself just kind of wearing like some clean pants, like some turtleneck sweaters or whatever, clean shaved. Like I just kind of went in thinking I'm like a grown man. I'm like 22 years old and I'm already making bank, right? And I'm already. But then I just found out that life is not about that. I've become kind of like a regular salary man who just does his work from Monday to Friday, and then just spends on some lavish stuff or whatever else, and then just goes back to grinding. So I'm thinking just kind of staying young by going into the danger, if I can say it like that.
I think you articulated that perfectly.
Yeah, it's higher risk, but man, way higher reward.
Yeah,
exactly. It's so nice. Yeah, it's so nice. Like I'm just posting constantly on Instagram, Twitter, and I'm really used to like not getting likes. Like, of course, when I first started, back in the day, I was like super popular. I was a singer. I went to some competitions like X Factor, and I and I was really back then really popular as a singer. I didn't take my music career too seriously because I didn't like the environment of there. But I like each like photo or whatever post I make, I get like, I know, like 1,000, 2,000 like likes for whatever. I had nothing to say. I was like a stupid 18-year-old or whatever, and I just had all the power. Whatever I say, everybody likes it. And now like I just try to make like a cool post. I'm always making like it's always moving some videos, some like cool whatever. I'm getting like 20 likes, but I'm just kind of got used to it. I just like creating, and I'm still sure somebody's gonna come and see it for what it is and kind of follow it. So I kind of got used to it, and I'm really enjoying it, just kind of posting and just being out there, being able to not just kind of keep everything undercover, right? Like you're not supposed to talk about this project, right? It's all NDA, non-disclosure agreements, and I'm just able to kind of post and just connect with everybody around the world. So I really appreciate that, I think, the most.
No, I would encourage anyone who's not following you on IG that they should do so.
Yeah, you have a very, very entertaining Instagram page, both the Zen Republic official one, but then your personal one. I don't know if you want to give that out.
Yeah. I think I think that with my personal one, that's kind of the way to I think to kind of get followers, because I think now more than ever brands are like all about the face of the brand, right? The brands shouldn't be like dry. Some unknown force is talking to you, but some sort of a person. So my plan is that I don't have any marketing person to cover social media for me. So what I do, I have Instagram of both my personal one and Zen Republic, and also Twitter of my personal one and Zen Republic. But the way I'm doing is that I'm making posts on my Zen Republic account like once a week or something. I'm really kind of slacking on that. But I mean, I just have like 100 or something followers, so I don't really feel like I'm gonna gain anything on constantly posting there. And I just want people to know me, right, as a person who is representing Zen Republic. And then they can, if they like me, they're gonna like Zen Republic after that. So I'm kind of going stronger on my own personal brand, so that even if, for example, Zen Republic fails, I can kind of do something else and maintain the crowd that kind of follows me.
No, that makes total sense. I wanna jump topic to the Zen Republic, because I know you got things that you're working on. I can't say I necessarily understand 100% of it.
With the metaverse and this, I want you to explain the lore, the metaverse,
this sounds
what's going
deep.
on.
This sounds real deep.
I'm about, man, by the end of this interview, I might be on side quest, whatever, or downloading the link to the metaverse. Like, this looks very interesting to me. Can you sell this to me a little bit?
Yeah, right. Well, now that when I first thought of this metaverse idea, at first it seemed like very simple, but now I now understand that for the metaverse to work, for it to seem as the thing that I imagined it, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to pull it off alone. There's too much different things that must be done. But for the lore, the thing is that Zen Republic is Zen Republic is like some sort of some solar system that is very far away, some like distant galaxy, and there's some planets. I'm not sure how many, maybe 4 to 5 planets that are habitable planets, and some maybe not. But they all have like different people, different aliens or whatever you call them inside their planets. And throughout centuries, throughout whatever kind of timeline, they're fighting for the sun, because they found out that if you control the sun, you get all the energy, you can control all the solar system and everybody, and you're the leader, right? You're like the powerful force. But they finally decided, all those planets finally decided that it's no use to fight one another. It's enough sun for all of us. Let's just share it all together. And they founded Zen Republic. So it's like a solar system wide union of different planets, and they all use this the sun's energy for their own needs. So they're fully covered. And what they do now is they have all answers to everything. They live wonderful lives. They're fully covered, and they even found out that you can use solar energy to fly across the universe at speed of light. And the whole solar system moves, and they don't even feel a thing, because the sun is the thing that moves. So now the Zen Republic is just moving across the universe. They're looking for other habitable planets, for example, Earth, and they found Earth, and they're sending the messages of how with peace, with love, and with science, you can also achieve this kind of Zen mentality of everybody living together. So that's kind of the main lore of Zen Republic.
That's pretty cool. I mean, Zen and meditation, and that seems to be a common theme with you, all around.
Right. I mean, I'm not. I think I'm taking the Zen kind of in a different way. When I first started, I thought that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna somehow incorporate kind of a Zen, fractals and whatever. But now I'm just thinking of the Zen in some kind of a different way. Like I wouldn't call Zen a Zen. Maybe I'm trying to reinvent what Zen is, because as you can see, like my place has nothing to do with like kind of chakras in Zen, at least for now. It's more just kind of cartoony, weird, Dragon Ball-y or whatever. So I just found that Zen is kind of a thing that kind of ticks with people. Like Zen Republic, it just kind of rolls off the tongue.
It's got a good.
Oh yeah,
roll.
It's
Yeah,
got
it's
a nice sound.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I think I thought about Republic in a wrong time, because now that everywhere I look around, everybody's making some sort of a Republic. I have no idea why now, but like even like when I was just like walking around the city in Vilnius, Lithuania, in my hometown, I saw there's even some chicken place called Chicken Republic to translate into English. Vištienos Respublika, Chicken Republic. Yeah, so like everybody seems like everybody's just around me just making republics, and I'm feeling like I'm just some sort of mainstream person.
Hey, look, I don't mean to keep cutting off Stratus and not let him speak or anything like that. But I like the idea of a giant lore universe. Like, it creates the potential for so many different games that all kind of intertwine. I like it. It's cool.
Yeah, exactly. And for the Rodent People, you said in your review that that Rodent People like should have some more rooms, like some more lore to it. There should be other episodes. So that's exactly what I've planned. When I made the first episode, the first script of the first game, like I thought I could just keep on going, but then I thought like it's enough for 1 hour. That's what I want to do, because like as I said, when I was developing the game, I first I thought it was just going to be for the local public. And 1 hour is way enough time spending in one sitting in VR, right? Because then after that your head starts hurting and whatever else. Yeah, so I thought like this should be like beaten in one sitting when you come to the local studio, and that's what I went with. But I also have a plan for the second episode. And second episode second part should conclude the series of Rodent People, and after the Rodent People, the saga of Rodent People kind of ends. It all should end with Rodent People kind of intertwining into the Zen Republic metaverse, to show that they're one of those peoples from one of the planets somehow. I'm not gonna spoil too much on how, but they're gonna be like one of those planet people. And yeah, and so yeah, I'm not gonna spoil too much, but I mean the second part is gonna be like way more crazy. With the first one, I went really easy. Because I know it's pretty crazy still, but with the first part I went kind of easy, thinking that it's already really how do I say it? It's already very different to other escape rooms. So I found out in the initial testing, when people come into play, like they spend 5 minutes or whatever just walking around, getting used to the environment.
That was us.
Yeah, just to kind of get to know everything. And I thought if I was gonna go like really crazy with all the puzzles, people are not gonna be able to solve, because like it's gonna be way too abstract. So I went with kind of a hybrid, a game where there's some crazy puzzles, some crazy things you need to figure out, but also some codes, the classic key escape, like some sort of things that could ground you to say that this is actually an escape room, and then you have control over it. You're not just all abstractions. But with the second game, I'm thinking of going more into the like kind of transcendental states. I'm thinking of playing with people seeing different things, being in different realms while at the same time in the same place. So I'm kind of going as in the first part. The first part is just kind of a living the regular life of rats, right? Being kind of a humans, rats being humans, right? Being in a cell, working for whatever they can get. And the second part is just kind of testing them to their limits. What can they actually achieve? Can they transcend men? If you know what I'm saying.
Oh, this is
I'm excited.
I'm stoked. Stoked to the gills. No, I listen. I love a good escape room. I really do. And this one just, I don't know. I keep wanting to go back. You know, it's fun as hell.
Thank you. Actually, my community has also said it. When I started gathering people into the community, at first I thought like they're just gonna play it once and then just gonna forget about the Discord and just gonna forget about everything and just move on. But I was just like so excited when people played it and they kind of started making some of the people were started making kind of a weird artworks of Rodent People. They said like this kind of game I've already beat it, but somehow I want to go back and beat it again for some reason, even though they beat it. So I was really excited about it, that they kind of saw something like true, um, something real. I don't know how to say it, but I put a lot of heart into it, and what I wanted to make it seem is that it's not a big company that made it, because when I was growing up, I played a lot of AAA games, and after some time, I just kind of got disillusioned with them, thinking that most of them are just like kind of you get some mechanics, you kind of iron them out, and then build all the gameplay around them. And so after like a couple of hours, it gets boring. And I was just thinking on a kind of I'm just gonna make it like weird with different kind of mechanics, different things, and just put a lot of love into it. So that was kind of my logic.
No, I actually, and I admit this. I was talking to Dscruffles this morning about this. That I love going into the game and just dancing. I don't know how you figured out, and I don't think I'm spoiling anything at all by this, but I mean, you can look at yourself in the mirror and you can dance around, and the movements, you dance better. I mean, I dance better in that game than I do in any other game if I'm goofing around.
Yeah, so I think what he's saying, like, there's a lot of games you play on the Oculus, like the avatars, even the ones that have legs and full body, they're very static and stiff. Whereas like these mice, like, man, you move with them, like
They flow. They flow.
It's very fluid movement. It's
Yeah,
impressive.
Thanks a lot though. Though with the full body, it was just my kind of like an ambition to do it. I never knew how to make a full body, and I decided to make it from scratch. I was following a tutorial, and I thought like, oh my god, it's gonna be way too hard. What am I getting into it? And like, I wouldn't say like, I would say like it took like 20%. Like 20% of the whole gameplay that I made was all about the characters kind of working together, making it work, because there's so many bugs and it's so hard to test full body avatars. Like every time I want to test something, I kind of need to stand up. I need to kind of lift my headset to look for the screen on how am I looking, and it just was a whole like a clunky mess to kind of a test avatars. Of course, I could have spent like a week or something making some sort of a testable character, but I couldn't be bothered. My if I spend my time kind of making everything easy to test, I would have taken like 2 years to build it. My thinking was just I'm gonna make it like I'm not gonna think too much about it. Like I'm just if it works, it works. Somehow I'm gonna move to something else, because like I was going crazy. Every mechanic that you make just takes so much time to integrate. When you first think of it, it says like I think yeah, it's gonna take like 1 day or something, and I'm gonna move over to another thing. But then you make it in 1 day, but you make it kind of a kind of crappy way, in a way that you want to get it done by today and not come back to it anymore. But then you start doing the whole escape, and while also integrating the feature, and in many cases it breaks. Like you do something unexpected I didn't think about, and it's always breaks. So I have to keep on going back to the feature and fixing it. So this alone like took a lot of time, and my thinking was just that I'm just gonna make it as little buggy as possible, and all the other artifacts, whatever else is happening, I'm gonna drive myself crazy if I'm gonna fix every little thing.
No, the movement's fantastic. It's fun. Like I said, I could, if there was like even a moment where you could just screw it, I'm just gonna dance, play some music. The character dances better than I do in real life.
Yeah.
That's usually the first thing we do when we load up and we do a round.
Yeah.
Like we'll look at each other and be like, whoa,
Start moving the
around,
arms,
wiggling. I don't want to give spoilers.
No, don't say none.
There's one moment in the escape room, and this moment got you, from what I read on your Discord, banned in Australia. Whenever I hit this moment in the room, man, I start dancing.
It's so stupid,
so much
fun.
I have so much fun with it.
Yeah.
It's pretty accurate to real life too. I like how like I can't say anything.
Well, how do you think I made this game?
No, the artwork involved in that. It's
so
crazy.
fun. We always have to we do the
No spoilers.
yeah. We do the method. We spend more time earning gold than we need to.
Yeah, just have fun.
Significantly,
Just
to
have fun.
be able to afford the experience for
Yeah,
both
yeah,
of
yeah.
us. Even though it's not required for both characters.
Yeah, actually, that's most of the time that's the case in the local studio too. When people actually start doing the same thing as you, and I'm thinking, oh my god, you have no time for that. You have like you're on the clock when you're playing online. That makes like you can just spend however much time you want because like you're not limited. But when I know that it's this attraction is limited to 1 hour, and when people kind of start losing themselves, they kind of find the feature and they all want to do it. And then then I'm kind of thinking in the shadows like, oh, you need to speed it up, guys. You need to speed it up. You haven't even unlocked anything yet.
Yeah, you guys are never gonna figure it out.
Yeah. So
I'll give you credit for a solo developer too. Your mini games are fluid. Like the mini game in there, like it's almost better than some games dedicated to that genre.
Yeah. Well, that was actually the first thing I made in the game, the mini game. I don't think I'm gonna spoil it too much. Basically, in the game, that's basically what I say to people when they come in the studio to play. So basically, the rats are imprisoned, and they're just like people. They need to kind of work to earn their money, and to work they just kind of need to play this stupid mini game of shooting ducks with their gun. So it's kind of duck hunt mini game. They need to do it cooperatively. And so yeah, it goes with waves. You earn money, and it's kind of a point system. So I thought this was gonna be like ironically, it's like stupid, but also like entertaining kind of game that you kind of get hooked on. So, and that was actually the first thing that I made. I made an environment, and then I was thinking, what is the hardest thing that I'm gonna do throughout this game that I've already have in my script? And I thought like definitely this mini game is gonna like a game within a game. I will not have any kind of stamina to do it in the later stage. So I just went right into it to make this first. And when it all started working, I started kind of gluing everything around it because, and also it also is very visual. So my thinking was if I start with it, I can already while I develop, I can already post things in Instagram and Twitter saying, hey, look, this is development, this is cool, this is shooting with guns the way that you like, guys. You like guns, right? So yeah, so that's what I started with.
Appeals to the American crowd.
Yeah, so that's why I think it feels really fluid because I spent a lot of time on it because I didn't know how long I'm gonna take with other things, and I spent way too much time on the mini game.
No, it's fun as hell.
Yeah.
I like the mini.
Yeah, and actually, my thinking was also that usually when you're in an escape room, a physical one, right? When there's like 4 people playing, usually there's like a few people who do all the thinking, and others just kind of drag along and say, "Oh, you made it, let's go," right? And they just don't really contribute to anything. So my thinking was that in this operation, some of the rodents can be the brains of the operation, and some can be the brutes, the muscles. So when you're playing 4, naturally what happens is that some people who are not really following it, like they say, "Oh, I don't get it. You guys figure it out. I'm just gonna go and grind some money so you can make more decisions." So it allows for the brain people to iterate more because they're not forced to spend like 30 seconds each time to earn that money, because the brutes help that, and they immediately feel that they're contributing to the team. So that's why I kind of made it this way.
That's genius.
Yeah,
that's real genius.
Yeah, we've never had the I guess the honor or like the
4-player.
Yeah, man, that sounds fun. 4 people. Here's a quick question about the mini game. So in the 4-player, if you do that, is there 4 I don't want to use a spoiler. Can all 4 people play the mini game at once, or is it still limited to just 2?
No, it's just 2. Yeah. So that's
okay.
Because that's
what he said. Okay, understood.
The problem is that you get kind of a too crowded when you're in the same space physically to go in the same place to shoot. So 4 people wouldn't really fit in that kind of a like the place for the mini game. I don't know. It's like 2 meters wide or something, I would say. So for 4 people to fit in, people will start losing tracking and stuff. So I didn't risk it. I just thought like that's why I'm gonna make this kind of thing that some of the guys are thinking, some of the guys are shooting, and they can kind of switch it up. And they can this would immediately like drive a conversation, thinking, I've just played, you go grind some money in. Like I've just already done my part, right? Because we're all sharing the same money.
All right, no, that makes. Hey, whose idea was the arms?
The arms. What do you mean? I mean like the ones with they're kind of dragging along, they're sticking
like,
to things.
Yeah, like the accordion. I call them like
Oh,
accordion
when they
arms.
stretch out super
Yeah.
far.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, this was my way of making it less of a pain to make a full body avatar, and I decided to make it as a feature. So the thing is, it's I didn't find a way. I found it really hard to. I'm really not too good with animation and stuff. So if I had to have one character that has its own arms on it, because I'm used to developing with like floating arms, right? Head and floating arms. I just kind of attached a body character on those floating arms. So my way of thinking was that, hey, what about these are just kind of a robot arms that have like this wire stretching out, so I don't have to make the arms part of the body, and I can already be in my own kind of style and make this as a feature and not as a kind of a floating hand thing. So yeah, so basically just those are just floating hands, but I decided to make this kind of a line renderer, this kind of wire to show that, hey, those are the stretchy arms of rodent people.
Hey, it's the old Bethesda route. If you can't iron it out, just make it a feature.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
If it works for them, man, why not?
No, there's a lot of hidden little things in this game that are worthy of people's attention. How's the overall feedback? I mean, I'm sure locally people are having fun, but now that you're global with this, I mean,
besides Australia,
yeah,
we'll I think Australians had the most fun. That's why it's
that's
bad.
the problem. That's the way it goes. They're probably trying to find alternative ways,
Yep.
Yeah. So actually, overall, it's everybody just everybody either loves it or hates it. So I love that there is no like in between, because if you're in between, it's just like there's no place of conversation, right? But if some people hate it, some love it, then there's always somebody attacking and somebody defending. So every kind of a post makes a conversation. Some person is saying, "Oh, this is trash, bad graphics," right? Another person saying, "Hey, but it looks cool. It looks like nice gameplay or whatever." So it already like gives some sort of a conversation to happen. So I would say overall, everybody thinks it's a great game. Those guys, especially those people who bought it, I mean, they think they're more open to kind of experience, because if you buy it, you're kind of more likely to enjoy, not to kind of waste your money, right? You when you spend your money, you want to enjoy the game, so you'll find to try things that you like, so as to not to think that I've made a bad choice with a game I bought.
Yeah,
so
you get something for free, you take it for granted.
Exactly. Yeah. And then
appreciate it.
Yeah, exactly. So, but as for the local people, everybody just loves it so much. I have like people like now currently with the Quest 2, there's tracking issues. With the Quest 1, I think there's not too much, but with the Quest 2, the tracking got way worse. Even when I'm developing, I'm constantly losing tracking, and when people play, sometimes like they get tracking lost. Thank God that my game is not too active, so I tell them, if you get tracking lost, just kind of wait a few seconds, you're gonna go back to the game, and that's gonna be all good. But sometimes they lose the guardian, so I have to, when they're playing, I have to take the headset off, just quickly draw that guardian back again and put him in the game. So it breaks the immersion. When I'm the host, I'm thinking, oh my God, their experience is ruined. It's like now the worst game ever. They're gonna fucking want to refund everything. But after that, they don't even kind of mention it. They're too kind of overwhelmed with seeing each other as a rodent and just being in this thing that they've never tried before, that they really don't care about the guardian. So I think there's just like from the developer's perspective, like this kind of a bad thing. But everybody, like most of the people who come in, I didn't have too much, because I don't really have much money for marketing, so I'm just kind of doing my thing, making music videos, promoting Zen Republic and whatever, making posts. But most people who come, they write in the review. So I think that says a lot. Like after the game, you think about a game, you put it on your phone and you write a review and you post it. That takes time. It takes like some how do you say, contribution, some commitment. Yeah, like you've
it's effort.
It takes some effort. So that's why I think like it's really a great experience for people if they commit to write a review. That's the biggest thanks I can get.
So you know what's weird? When I first got my Quest 2, probably in like October, November, I had no tracking issues. The tracking issues for me personally started like a month ago, 2 months ago. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. With Airlink, I think with Airlink.
Yep.
With Airlink, yeah.
version 28. Before that, I had never had tracking issues. Now I have tracking issues every play session.
I don't care what the game, I'm usually dropping sometimes all the way to the main menu.
100% it happened. It's not the game's fault. It's happening every game. It's the headset. And it used to not happen. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, and now even for me, as I said, like it's not too bad as my game is not too active, but there's also one more virtual reality kind of a entertainment experience in Vilnius, in my local city. It's called VR Arena. We're friends, we're acquaintances, friends with the guy that makes it. So he's made this kind of a paintball style, really touching in the people's likes. He made this kind of a VR arena with no guardian. It's just kind of a open space, 20 on 20 meters or something, and they're just kind of shooting each other like in paintball style, right? But they're just sharing the same space, right? They're just moving around, shooting each other like in paintball. So now we talked about the tracking issues, and he said like he can't even get people in, like he can't can now invite people to come and play because his game is active. You need to kind of always like be on the run. You need to constantly move. So if you get tracking lost, it's very easy to bump into other people. So he had for now to stop his entertainment until the issues are fixed. So that's quite sad.
That's disappointing. If they're going to offer it for commercial purposes, man, you have to have that stuff ironed out.
But I mean, hey,
not for you, not on the developer standpoint. I'm talking for like the Oculus.
No,
hardware.
but here's the reality. I mean, Oculus will suffer the same bugs and glitches that a person will who makes a game. It's just these things are going to come out, and you're not going to know until everybody's using it. So.
Yeah, exactly, and I think like the issues came because they said they were gonna make the tracking better. They're gonna increase the range of the Guardian. So I think that's what happens when you kind of start moving this Guardian that was already like in place for a long time that people got used to and it seems to work fine. They just want to make it better, and of course when you try to make it better, maybe you don't do enough testing or whatever. Some other things are gonna break. And when you release it, you never know. So that's just what happens.
Yeah, and I don't want to sound like a hater. Let me put the disclaimer. Like I don't want to sound like one of those like guys who hate the Oculus and stuff. I have a lot of respect for the Oculus developers. They're constantly rolling out updates and stuff. It's just there's no denying the tracking's an issue right now.
Well, everyone's suffering. I mean, it just sucks that someone's business is now going to suffer.
I didn't even think about that. That's terrible. So
100%.
I saw you were playing with like a shared space feature. That would be really cool if Oculus could roll that out as an officially supported thing.
Yes.
That was a really cool video we saw.
Yeah. Thanks. So, but for now, I mean, like everybody who does these kind of a shared space things, it's all just a fraud. It's all fake. it's really unofficial. So basically, what I do is just I stand in the same place with all headsets, and I make exactly like the same lines to make the same Guardian. So it's basically the exact Guardian, but it's not synchronized. So they're not actually using the same Guardian. But
yeah,
I'm thinking, I'm
sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, so go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say they're not interacting right, like with the current shared space feature. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's fake. Like you have like the same exact Guardian, but they're not like on any level. They're not together in the same space. So but I'm thinking like there should be a way. Like it shouldn't be even too hard to kind of get people to. What I'm thinking, my kind of way of doing it, I guess, would be like when you're logging in your Wi-Fi, and it like kind of image like notification pops up. Hey, somebody on this network has Guardian drawn. Would you like to use this one, or would you like to create your own, or something like this? And then you could kind of say, yeah, sure, I'm going to use this one. And you have one perfectly synchronized Guardian. So that would be my way of thinking, and maybe probably something's going to happen because there's this Space Pirate Trainer, the widely popular game in Oculus. They're making the Space Pirate Trainer Arena, which is kind of very similar to what here in VR Arena in Vilnius is, where people just kind of use the same space and they run around and they shoot each other. So I'm thinking that the Oculus are going to work with them because they're like these huge money drivers to kind of implement this feature.
Yeah, no, I've seen that game on the store, Space Pirates.
Actually, yeah, it was the one game that kind of inspired me to go to VR. I was a hater before that.
Okay, so that was actually a question I wanted to ask. Like, yeah, you mentioned you work for some official companies and stuff, so it wasn't VR development you were doing before. It was like actual like console games, computer games, that kind of stuff, or just software development.
Yeah, well, I think that's quite a long story. So I first started working in Unity as a QA tester. Most of the QA testers, I'm not sure if all of them, but surely most of them are from Lithuania. So if you have any bug with your game engine, with Unity, when you file a support, here people in Lithuania are receiving those
Well,
reports.
good to
Yeah,
know.
so yeah, so you can say greetings to Lithuania if you have some bug or whatever. So yeah, so I was working in Unity because I started studying computer science. That's the major I chose after school, because I thought like this is gonna open a lot of doors, and it's kind of creative. It's a thing that's gonna make me money and also kind of creative, right? Because I'm thinking of code as like writing, like it's a glue to merge all the different arts together. So yeah, so I started working with Unity to start my career, and then what happened was amazing. So yeah, yeah. So let me get into it. So Unity has in the office, in our headquarters of Unity, we had VR room, like especially made for like HTC Vive, for people to come in and play in their free time. So back then I was kind of a hater of VR because I was using 9gag then. I was such a normie back in the day. I was using 9gag, and I saw like there was a lot of memes where like PewDiePie is playing Amnesia in VR, and he's just like looking around, walking with controller, like joystick, Xbox joystick, and looking around in VR. And I was thinking, oh, this is such a gimmick. You just kind of walk around. I'm sure you're gonna get motion sick and then whatever. And I was not seeing clearly. So when I tried out the VR space in the office, the first game I played was Space Pirate Trainer, and just when I kind of I had a session, I just broke a big sweat. I just kind of just went right into it, and I enjoyed it so much. When I took off the headset, I immediately thought like, that's it. The flat games are over. They're obsolete. There's no way I'm gonna make any games now, because when I started working in Unity, I was thinking I was gonna work in games, but like 3D games, 2D games. But after that, I was saying no, that's it. I'm doing VR now. So right after that, I just bought myself not a Craigslist, but like the Lithuanian version of a Craigslist. Like some person was selling an HTC Vive, so I just decided to buy it because like the price was 420, and I said this must be a sign from God. Yeah.
69 cents as well, you know.
No, just 420. I paid 69 for shipping. No, yeah, but yeah, I just immediately bought it, and then I just started developing it on it because I didn't have a PC computer. I only have a laptop, which laptop was not strong enough to make any games work. Every game that I played, Beat Saber, whatever you call it, everything was just lagging horribly. So what I was able to do is just open up Unity with an empty scene, drop some sort of a cube. My cubes as hands, cube as a head, and I just could be able to kind of move my hands. If I figure out how to move my hands, how to pick up stuff, how to maybe shoot an arrow with a bow. So I just use my VR solely for development to kind of learn. And after that, after like 2 months, after 2 months of developing with VR, there was a hackathon in Vilnius, and I decided I'm just gonna go make some sort of VR experience alone. That's it. I'm just gonna attend the hackathon. So I spent like three days in the hackathon making a virtual shop. My idea was to kind of make a virtual supermarket where you can go in, put some things like water bottles, bananas into your bag, and once you go into the checkout, you just pay, and like that's all. I didn't really do much. I didn't really do much, but it got when I started presenting it. After my presentation, some person came from some company, said, "Hey, I like your enthusiasm. Would you like to come and do this kind of corporate project for us?" I said, "I have no experience. I've just like 2 months of developing." He said, there's no problem. Like you can come, you can learn on the way. Yeah, so I was not sure like if that's what he really means, or does he really count on me. So I just decided to kind of quit Unity, just because like I had to I didn't want to work on both projects, so I just decided to quit Unity and focus on that project. And after that, after I finished it, it went quite smoothly, and then I just started writing other VR companies in Lithuania, whatever they do, like, they can do whatever corporate shit, whatever. Just want to learn VR. I just started writing, and some company said, "Hey, yeah, you can come in. We already have like a project that we have due next week, so you better do it fast." So I just accepted the challenge, went right into it, and then I just kind of started just kind of flipping, doing projects for different places.
That's
So
actually
that's
really
how
cool.
I kind of got into. So basically, if I didn't have the balls to quit Unity for the project, because back then I was so stressing out, I was thinking there's no way I'm good enough at VR, so I'm not a good coder yet. I have no idea what I'm doing. I barely know how to pick up stuff now. So I have no idea how I'm gonna handle this, but I just kind of went at it and just kind of struggled my way into finishing that project. And it was like so amazing to be able to do a VR project. I was thinking like I'm so advanced now. Everybody's just working in the like dead end jobs in some other place, and I'm just here chilling at home, working from home, doing some VR stuff. I felt like a magician then.
Well, I think exactly what you said about your first experience in VR. I think that was exactly the same of mine. Of being like, console games are dead. Like any game I play that's not VR, I go, imagine if this was VR. You know, there's no going back.
Yeah, I can go back to playing games. Like one exception is Binding of Isaac. I fucking love this game, and I just kind of I played it way before, but now I just usually so from time to time I come back to kind of play. And I got my girlfriend into liking it, so she just kind of spectates, and she really enjoys me playing because I'm such a pro at the game. And so we just kind of spend some evenings just playing Binding of Isaac like this. So I still love that game, but for other games, I just kind of turn it on. I'm saying, yeah, that's been done. Yeah, that's been done. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, those are the same things. What about VR? Can you do it in VR? Yeah.
No, I love the immersion. It's all about that immersion in VR. I go back to the console, which of course I still play, but I want that full body, 360 up down. I want that realism.
Yeah, it's just like a natural next step. I mean, we play games for escapism, right? Like for just kind of go into a fantasy world and live there. So it just kind of makes sense that we're just completely losing everything from the side, right? We're not just seeing the flat game. We're just right in the game. So it just feels like a natural step. Just like the natural step for phones is gonna be AR phones or AR glasses. Like eliminating extra steps from like taking your phone from the pocket, looking at it like, and just so it's just gonna be like eliminate extra steps, and just like a logical next step, I would say.
Yes, I was going to ask you you're in it thick, so I mean, where do you see this going in the next 5 years? I mean, the progression's been super fast.
I mean, all my money, all my all my whatever is on the blockchain based decentralized apps. That's where I think is the future. I think we're gonna blur the lines between games and work. I'm thinking with the games, with the lots of work getting automated day in day out, like every job is just getting automated. So I'm thinking, uh, I'm not sure that's not going to be a 5 year plan, but that's just where my thinking is at. Is that um, and if you know games like MMOs like RuneScape, they have like their own economies, right? They have people just selling, trading, and then using some kind of a black market places to exchange their coins for real money, and people buy it for real money just because they can use those coins to make more, and just money keeps on flowing, right? So I'm just thinking all the games are just gonna have their own crypto tokens, some crypto economies, and people are just gonna play games to earn money. They're gonna have like some fixed amount of money they get from the government each month, and if you want more, you go play whatever game, cut some wood, sell it in some market in the game. Here you go, you can have some, you can exchange it for some RuneScape coin, which you can then change to Ethereum or Bitcoin, and then you can go buy whatever groceries you want. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking there's going to be a blur of lines between games and work. I'm thinking people are going to just kind of go in VR. For example, they were just kind of meet in some tavern to drink some beer, right? To get some new people join and say, hey, guys, I have this nice plan of making money. We need to go in, 4 of us, beat some dragon, get some dragon skin, right? And we're gonna fucking make bank. Let's do it. You get some people riled up. You go in, you make some money, you get some new friends, and you're rich now. So I'm thinking that's what we're gonna be. We're gonna work as like professional hunters, professional Pokemon masters, professional wizards, or whatever else.
It's believable.
Well,
Because
also,
almost any trade in the future could be put into a VR a VR type setting.
Yeah, imagine hunting where like instead of you take the deer's antlers, you get like an NFT of the size, weight,
Exactly.
a little like tag, saying like, man, look at what I tagged.
So I'm sorry.
And I'm also thinking about clothes. Also, I'm thinking that instead of internet, the flat-based internet, I think we're gonna have like this kind of a virtual internet, a metaverse, an actual metaverse, where every website is basically just a virtual world where you can just kind of you're in VR, you can hop in, you enter inside VR, you enter some like other website name, or just click on some button with some icon to go into that world, and you can just kind of flip them as like websites. I'm sorry. Yeah. So, and I'm thinking in that metaverse, you're gonna have one united login system. So, for example, now every website you log in, you use your email, your password, and you have lots of passwords, lots of emails, and just like a bunch of baloney. You're logging into every place. And in the future, we're gonna have like our one crypto wallet, maybe like a couple of crypto wallets, like depending on what kind of blockchain you use. And you're just gonna have one united login system. So you log into any virtual world, right? You just said, hey, you have this crypto wallet. Do you accept this login? You say, yeah, I accept. So you go into that world and you already have your own username, the same avatar, the same amount of money in your bank. So you just have your one united identity throughout the metaverse. And I'm thinking with the clothes, it's going to be huge that there's going to be some NFT clothes, limited edition clothes, which now there's kind of a shitty way of having being kind of a clothes collector or whatever, that you can't wear those clothes. You have to like kind of buy some pair of shoes. You need to vacuum them and never wear it so they maintain their value. And if you kind of go to some sort of a virtual world where they're selling like Balenciaga, whatever, Nike, whatever, like popular shoes, you can just go into those websites. You just buy them yourselves a pair of limited edition shoes. That's it. That's your collectible. That's your kind of item. You wear it anytime you want to whatever event you want, and you wait 5-10 years until they're like super rare, and then you can sell them without having any drop in value. They only increase because you can't wear and tear your NFTs. So that I'm thinking like all the collectibles, all the things are just gonna have so much more value in the future. These NFTs.
Hey, well, seeing the difference at like crypto and NFTs and virtual reality between even 2015 into 2021 of 6 years is a significant process.
It's crazy. Yeah, I think the quarantine had a lot to do with it. Even like virtual reality itself. I think that with the quarantine, people started realize that it's not just for games now, and people started accepting that virtual worlds are like there's still like a blurred line.
It's not the future. We're ready for it now. I think
and people started realizing that you can go to like some sort of social platform where there's like cartoony avatars, right, with their usernames, and they're just doing emojis, and it's not a game. It's like a place where you hang out, be social, just like some sort of a real event. And people are starting now to realize it. So now even my mom, who's like, just because I kind of preach VR all the time, right, she's kind of starting to get into it. And she just said, oh, I just found this very, very cool kind of a social virtual world called like Virbella, or I'm not sure how is it called, but basically it's like flat screen Sims, like multiplayer Sims, where just like a Second Life. Imagine like a Second Life, something like Second Life. And to say, oh, you can go with your avatar, you can move with the mouse, and you can go to the beach and you can talk with other people. I said, yeah, that's what we've been doing for like 15 years now, since I was a child. And now they kind of understand what virtual world is. So I'm thinking that kind of the quarantine kind of helped it immensely.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned RuneScape. That was a game that, how old are you, Thomas?
I'm 24.
24. So I'm 25 personally. So that's a game I started playing when I was 8 years old. Right? That's a game I grew up with. Probably pretty similar with you, right? It was a browser-based MMO. It was actually, if you think about it, very impressive with what they pulled off in a browser.
It's amazing. Yeah, it was so accessible.
Still one of the most like in-depth MMOs feature-wise. I haven't played in so long, but man, I'm surprised Jagex, if they still own it, hasn't invested into porting the game to VR. If RuneScape went to VR, popped in on the Oculus Store, man. Oh my goodness. It would be the killer app.
It would be. Yeah, I would definitely go back to RuneScape, and I would spend again an unhealthy amount of hours. I will drop everything I have, all the Zen Republic, just to play some VR RuneScape. I grew up with that game. I started when I was 7 years old.
See,
And
actually, so we would have been the same year we started playing, because if I started playing at 8 and you started playing at 7 and I'm a year older than you, we probably played the same year.
Maybe we even hang out together.
Yeah, there's a lot of freaking worlds though in that game.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, my username that I'm currently now using, Thomukas1, it's in Lithuania. It's Thomukas1, so it's super pretentious name with a number in it. So basically, how this came to be is that when I was 7 years old, my other children in the outside, like, right. How
in real life, like,
yeah, you go outside, you play with other kids, right? So all of them were into RuneScape. They were like a year or two maybe older than me, so they were already like really advanced. They knew a lot of stuff, and I said, yeah, I want to be cool too. I want to join RuneScape. And so I didn't know how to log in, how to register. I just knew that it's called RuneScape. And so my father, I asked him to help me create an account, and he kind of went through the steps with me. And he said, what kind of username do you want? I said, I don't know. He said, well, what about Thomukas? Because my name is Thomas, and Thomukas means like little Thomas. Like whatever you say, Ukas, it's like make it like smaller, whatever, like little, like cute and little, whatever you say.
Yeah, they do that in Portuguese too.
Yeah, so Thomukas, Thomas Thomukas, little Thomukas. Yeah, so he said, yeah, sure, I can be Thomukas. And then he tried to select it and said, sorry, Thomukas is taken. What about Thomukas1? He said, hey, would you like Thomukas1? I said, yeah, okay, Thomukas1 is okay. And so he created that, and since then I'm Thomukas1. So this all started with RuneScape. And also one really funny story that I just remembered. When I was just like starting out RuneScape, I spent a lot of time in Lumbridge before I figured anything out what was happening in the game. So I went to kill some chickens, right? Like that was my go-to plan. I just go in, kill chickens, level up, and that's all. I have no other further plans. But I figured out you can kill chickens. So I was like killing chickens, right? I got some feathers. I knew that those feathers, whatever, bones are not rare at all. But somehow, when I was killing chickens, some golden little things popped up on the ground. I didn't know what it was. I took it. There was like 2 or 3 golden whatever. I was like super excited. I went to the friends outside when I would like we just met up in like an evening outside, and I said, "Oh my God, you will not believe what I just found." I thought I was just like the luckiest guy. I got something super rare and special, and I said, "You wouldn't believe what I found," and turned out there were just like some 3 coins dropped, and I thought those were like golden eggs of like some rare chickens, and those are just like 3 coins.
Well, I mean, you mentioned chopping wood. Like, that's why in VR is the best, man. Because like RuneScape, you click the tree and your guy just automatically does it. Imagine to chop trees in VR. You're chopping wood with your arms. You go fishing. You're swinging the pole. Yeah, that would be the future. But I have some quick things I want to ask. Because I know myself, I'm gonna talking about RuneScape for 3 hours. No problem. So like, man, unfortunately, your game does not have a bunch of reviews, and I think that's it's a great game. It should have more attention, but I think that's partially because it's on Applab, and I love Applab, but you have to know about Applab to find Applab. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are you planning at all to, or have you already applied for an official Oculus release? Is that something that you have on the books?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they now kind of switched it up, the whole system. At first, it was you can't get on Oculus. You need to kind of make a pitch. You need to write like a 3-page pitch, and then if you manage to get in, then you on the official Oculus store. And now they change it up, so now it's kind of easy to get into Applab. There's less things you need to do to get into Applab, but they eliminated altogether the way to get immediately into the official Oculus store. So now it's kind of like a gradual step process. So you first go into Applab, and then if you kind of market it right, you get lots of reviews, your game does really well, then they take it to the official store. So that's kind of the way to go. So unfortunately, I don't really have any funds to market it correctly. So what I'm doing is just I found the only way that works, that gets me positive return on my investment, is promoting on SideQuest, because that's like the immediate way. All the people there mostly have quests, right? And it's really like really direct direct way into getting those people. So that's what I'm doing. Though I've currently stopped advertising altogether. I have a couple $100 waiting to be spent on ads, but I don't spend it now because I can't compete in the summer market. I saw that now the ads are double of what they were in the like the winter time. So I'm thinking companies are now just counting that children are now are now in the summer vacation, right? They have lots of time on their hands and they can play a lot of games, and everybody wants to market it. So I'm just kind of waiting it out until they go back to school and more kind of mature audience is back to side quest, and then I'm gonna go back to marketing on online. So I really need to think about it hard and long because I don't have a lot of funds, a lot of funds for that. But I mean, if I manage to get some kind of financing to get more people in to make this all kind of spin, then of course I really want to get the game into official Oculus Store, because I really truly believe that this game is cool. I mean, I made it the way I would like to play it. Because I'm really picky on the games. Like most of the games I try, I say, yeah, I tried it. Can I have something like cool, something like that would kind of make something like different, right? So that was the game that I thought like I would play. That was the game that I made, and I believe in it. So that's why I would really want to get into the official Oculus Store.
Yeah, I think with a couple more VR rooms or a couple more rooms in there, oh man, that would be like
I don't see why not.
Yeah, that would be one of the best
millionaires.
multiplayer experiences on the store. It would make no sense. There'd be no reason for them not to accept it. So I really hope this gets you some more attention too. I mean, your game.
Yeah, and I also
exposure.
think people need to know those are also the importance of getting those likes in the comments. You know, I mean,
Yeah, if you like the game, leave a review. It's very helpful. Like, I didn't realize that the path to the official store, the direct path was gone. I didn't realize that. So I mean, like, geez, if you've played this game, you enjoy it, definitely go on the Oculus page and leave this guy a review. Let's get his game on the official store. It deserves it.
I want to say also that I've read the comments of some people who have thrown some crap at it, and there seems to be this, like, if you take a picture of a VR game while playing it and then you post it, it never, I don't care what the game, it never looks as good as when you're actually in the game. There's great. Even
The
the live
immersion's
videos.
not there with the picture.
Correct. So it's like people see this and think, oh, that thing looks clunky. It's like, no, it's not. It's graphically entertaining. It's absolutely itself entertaining. I would encourage. We said it on a review. It's a must own.
Yeah, I mean, it's. We had a blast with it. We had an absolute blast. Like, we were laughing from the opening, like 2 minutes of loading into a game together.
Yeah,
it was so much fun.
And definitely no spoilers with this, but I have fun before you go up.
Just looking around at everything.
This
is probably what you're talking about in this escape room when people do it in person, being like, all right, guys, you got to move on because that's me and you sitting there looking at everything.
Even just like the little puzzle pieces and getting familiar with picking up objects and stuff.
That was my thought. That was my thinking. Like most of the like mechanics, like eating, right, picking up stuff, levers, moving like levers. So like I just want to kind of include most of the stuff so people would kind of get familiar with it.
So do you have a timeline for that second room, or do you not want to put any pressure on yourself? No.
Yeah, well, of course, I would like to do it as fast as possible because I know that if I'm gonna like wait it out like a year or two, it will be very hard to get back to it. But for now, my sights are set into making some mini games into the metaverse, because what I'm thinking in the future is that the metaverse, the Zen Republic HQ, is going to be the place from where everybody connects to the games that I make. So like there's still trouble. I try to make it kind of as easy as possible to play together. Like you just kind of enter the username, you kind of match up together and then play, but still there's still friction that you need to know other person's username. You need to write it up in the chat and before playing. And so my thinking is that you would go into this HQ metaverse, and from here you find your friends. You say, hey, let's meet up here, or maybe you have some friend lists. You can search for your friends in the friends list. Then you can meet up like in Rec Room or whatever. You match up together, and then you go to a place where there's like rodents. I've made like they're standing with their poses on, and there's just the music is playing, and I'm gonna add a portal to the game. So like the platform is gonna be a place from where you go play the different games. So Rodent People is going to be included there. So I'm thinking like this metaverse is going to be like a traveling circus, like this game park, amusement park, or whatever. So currently, I'm going to focus on getting some mini games in the metaverse, just so that my community can kind of um, have something to talk about, to be able to meet together, so that I could kind of host maybe games. Say, hey guys, let's sessions for the mini games now. Sometimes right, some timeline, so that people know that there's some things always happening that they shouldn't leave. So yeah, I'm thinking of making some multiplayer mini games, like matches. I don't really have. I've already have kind of a script, the game design. Even I have the environment already built for the first mini game. But I don't really want to get too much into it because there's quite a lot to explain. But it's going to be pretty entertaining. It's going to be like 5-minute match, and after that you can go play again. So it's not going to be too. I'm not gonna spend too much time doing them, but I really want to have a couple of mini games just to maintain the Discord server, to maintain kind of have some posts constantly on those games, and then I can go back to making conclude the Rodent People saga. That's what I'm thinking.
Just to clarify for listeners and stuff, so yeah, you have a metaverse that you're working on you call it Zen Republic HQ, right? It's on SideQuest. So it's currently in the works. You know, this is about rodent people and stuff like that. So I don't want to spend too much time on there, but definitely let us know when that metaverse is like on Applab and stuff like that, and we'll do a whole nother review. We'll nice. We'll bring it back on all that stuff. You know, once it hits that point.
Yeah, that's great. Actually, if it's already on Applab beta, so I already have some of the Discord members kind of logged into beta, but it should come to Applab, the official Applab, pretty soon, I think. But still, this project is going to be like always under constant development. There's going to be always things changing. Always, there's going to be like, I'm thinking the whole Zen Republic is going to be that metaverse. This is going to be the global studio. Like this is just my local studio, is just displays. But I'm thinking Zen Republic is going to be that thing.
No, that's exciting.
Think of how dangerous this could all be with just a boatload of money thrown at it.
Oh my god!
You know what I'm saying? Like that's what kind of heartbreaking though.
Yeah, your capabilities as a solo dev is just as good as I've seen studios make. It seems like the biggest issue is like funding, which is not a fault of your own. That's the struggle of being a self-made business and everything. It's a shame that you ever thought like a Kickstarter or anything like that?
Well, for the Kickstarter, I know I don't have the commitment to kind of keep on pressing, saying, "Hey, Kickstarter." If my thinking is that
I get it. Sometimes it's tough to ask for money even if you need to, but like, oh man, there's so much potential here.
Well, no, and he's burning. I mean, look at the videos. This guy burns at both ends all the time.
Yeah, I keep on doing so, and the problem is that when I'm done with Rodent People, like when I finish developing it, it's just so hard to kind of make posts saying, "Hey, it's so cool, Rodent People, it's so nice, go play," because like I'm quite over it. So I'm thinking I really need some sort of a co-founder who would kind of I could kind of pass the baton. Like I'm all tired. Hey, now you do your part. Just market this thing so we can kind of make it. Because like when I made it the game, I'm just kind of over it, right? I just after birth, I'm just all tired and saying, "Hey, you grow up. You make this child grow up."
No, that makes sense. Actually, that makes total sense.
No, but I have one more question I want to ask, and then I think I've asked most of the stuff that I can think of. Again, I don't want to keep us for 3 hours, so I got one more on my mind, and then I'll pass it off to Stratus if he's got some things that he wants to ask before we wrap up and stuff like that. Just real quick, because it's kind of like the hot topic and stuff. What do you think of these in-game ads?
In-game ads? Well,
have you seen that? Have you seen the news? It's a little bit overblown, you know. Headlines. Kind of.
Well, I'm kind of lukewarm to it. I think that I would think of them worse if not the comments, because when I see the comments on those people are saying, "Oh, now I hate ads. Oh, I hate ads." But you're living with ads constantly. That's just the reality. People need to make money, and me as an advertiser myself now, I see it like as a way of making my game more visible, because advertising on just kind of Instagram, Facebook doesn't convert to people playing. So I'm looking into possibilities. I'm not discouraging ads, though what I'm thinking is that I don't really think paid apps should have ads. I'm thinking like you could have like a free free games that you kind of have to have some. For example, if you have a free game, you need to have some sort. There can be like some requirement or some rule. You need to have some place with a screen that we give a script to you, right? You include some sort of a flat screen TV right into your game, and you add a script to it that we made, and then you can we're just gonna pass random ads to the TV, whatever the experience is. So I'm thinking that would be good, like if you're going free and you want to make some money. So I'm thinking that would be a good way of advertising, but of course, Facebook is gonna find a way to make everything worse.
Yeah, so man, it's like I agree with you. Like the comments to it were overblown. The headlines were wrong. It was like I've read some headlines like Facebook forcing ads into headsets. It's like no, it's an option available to developers if they want to take advantage of it that they're testing out. And like you said, so before with no ads available to be added like that, there wasn't the potential to create a free to play game run off ads. Now there is. That's a feature that needed to get added. Now the conversation on paid games is a much different one. I tend to lean a little bit with you, like if it's a paid game, it probably shouldn't have it. But I think there's exceptions to that too. So example, like your metaverse, right? You're running a constantly updated universe that's getting new things. You have the server cost. Unless you're charging a subscription fee, like a premium thing, you have an overhead that's not going to get covered just by the one-time purchase. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So I think in like a game like a Population 1 or one where you had like your metaverse, I think it can be done as long as it's done in an immersive way, even though it's a paid app. Like, so if you had a billboard in your game already that was just a made-up company, why not put a real company there? It doesn't break immersion because it was already built in there before. Like you said with the TV, if you had a TV showing it, like that's what TVs freaking do in real life anyway. So it makes sense for a commercial to be there. That's not immersion breaking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's also what I'm thinking.
Like, okay, so a single player offline RPG probably shouldn't have a Burger King ad in it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's
so
immersion breaking.
Yeah,
in
but
a
I mean,
medieval setting and stuff like that. But it can be incorporated good, and it's necessary for the developers. You know, it
exactly. And I think it's up for marketers to kind of figure out what fits them, right? You would go to some sort of like, I don't know, a pretty woman, some singer, some actress, say, hey, you want to advertise our perfume? It makes sense. Like people are gonna get along. No people are gonna be mad because it makes sense. So it's just like ads are always like it's a kind of art form in itself. You need to if you make a good ad, nobody's gonna notice. Nobody's gonna hate it.
Yeah, and nobody's forcing ads into games. Facebook's not, as of right now, it's not like I'm going to play Rodent People without your permission. You never consented. Boom, there's a fat ad in the middle. It's like, it's completely developer optional. And it opens up a lot of possibilities. I think that the headlines were wrong the way they wrote it.
Definitely, nobody's reading the articles anymore. Everybody just wants to push up as much content to get the hashtags correctly so that they can get noticed more. And if they read everything that they post, they're not gonna push as much articles as they would otherwise.
And let's be real, it's the cool thing to say, like, "Oh, Facebook bad."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
you know, it's necessary.
Then you're hip. If you don't like Facebook, you're hip. You're still relevant.
Yeah, no, but what's going on with the ad feature, I think it's necessary. So it's good to hear your opinion. Stratus, I've rambled a whole bunch. I cut you off like 100 times. Stop you from asking questions. You have anything you want to ask?
Man, I know you were real excited for this one. I was equally excited, but fortunately we shared a lot of similar questions. So really no. I'm just excited that Thomas was nice enough to take time out of his now evening.
Yeah, the time difference between us and the East Coast and you in Lithuania, you know, it's much later for you than it is here.
Yeah,
so thank you. And you were our first guest interview, so I apologize for any hiccups we had in the process of setting this up and stuff like that.
No, it was super professional, super fluent, super nice.
Oh, so I'm excited for this the Zen Republic metaverse. I'm excited for the upcoming escape rooms. Again, let us know as soon as we see like the out of beta on Applab release of the Zen Republic HQ, and I'll have to pick that up right away.
People need to really go check out the IG, check out the website. There's a lot of things going on. I know we brushed over some NFTs, but I think you got a lot of that going on too. So
yeah, and how much is Rodent People right now?
It's
on the Oculus-
$9.99.
$9.99, guys. If you don't know what Applab is,
Dude,
you
it's
have...
like that's like 2 large coffees.
Oh my God! You
and
know
you
you're-
own it forever.
You're gonna drink your Starbucks, going $10. I can't afford that. Shut up, man. This game is a must own on the Oculus Store. If you guys are listening, you haven't played yet.
If you like multiplayer, you're killing yourself by not. 'Cause
Yeah,
you
Yeah,
have-
each copy you buy is gonna feed the whole Lithuanian family.
I mean,
no, it's
there's-
one of the best multiplayer experiences we had. There's no reason that if you like multiplayer, you shouldn't pick it up, and definitely leave a review. Now that I know that
yeah, the importance of the way this works.
getting you on the official store, man. If you got on the official store, you get a homepage. It snowballs from there. You're kind of being held back the fact that you're on the app.
Well, and guerrilla marketing and grassroots. I mean, word of mouth. The more people that know it's there, and I mean, just finding games on Applab. We talked about that before. Isn't always the easiest if you don't know it exists. So I mean, word of mouth.
Yeah, and
More people need to play it.
who doesn't love an escape room? It's so much fun. It's like there's no reason to not give it a shot.
Yeah.
It's well worth the $9.99.
All right.
Thanks a
well, I don't
lot, guys. Thanks
Oh, yeah.
so much. I'm now so inspired to go make another one. You just guys.
No,
you
we're
made
gonna
me-
keep.
You made me,
we're
you
gonna
made me
follow
feel
you.
so good.
No, I'm gonna keep blasting this one out too. This is definitely one. I mean, shit, I might have to play it tonight. Like, it's a fun one.
Yeah.
It's real good.
We rehashed it.
No,
We
and
got it.
thank you for your time, man.
Yeah, hopefully we can talk to you again down the road because
Yeah.
I know we got a lot of good things coming from you. Your motivation's there, and your enthusiasm for a good, positive life for everyone is friggin' awesome.
Yeah, and man, keep an eye out on this guy as a solo developer at Zen Republic HQ. That's impressive.
Throw him some money, folks.
Yeah, come on, man. Let's get this guy on the official store. I want to see.
Let me get a proper dinner for once, guys, please.
Yeah, come on, man. No, this is a very, very polished game. All right, we'll let you get some sleep and some relaxation.
Thank you again, Thomas.
Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it.
All right, have a great night, my friend.